a tough, hard-fought win, and I've been chuckling to myself because I kind of felt like this was a no-win situation for us, and watching film. With all due respect to them, I think if we play them a month ago, maybe it is different. Maybe you can look at the record a little bit. Watching them and what they've done the first three and really four games in conference play, they're a different team. And so part of the challenge this week was coming down from the big win at St. Joe's and really the first three games to going into it thinking that everybody, including you guys, including everybody that's talking to them, thinks this is kind of the easy one before another tough stretch. And watching them on film, they've been really good the last few games. So when I said a no win for us, I knew that this would be a really tough, hard-fought game. I knew that this would be a hard win, no matter how we were able to get it. If we were able to get it, that this would be a tough win. And it was. You got Rose coming out here, changes them, her being out there allows Kaleja to kind of be at the three. And that's a really three-headed monster at that guard spot that's really tough to cover. And, obviously for us, not having Van Arsdale today hurt that, and changed the game plan a little bit. But kudos to them. I thought they were in attack mode the whole time, really to start the game. Did some things defensively that kind of had us on our heels, and we had to change some things. But I just thought they were in attack mode, really at the start of both halves. And they played well. And fortunate for us, and really proud of our kids for grinding that one out.
Yeah, maybe not your best game of the year, but when you needed a stop, you got it. When you needed a three, you got it. You did what you needed to do to win.
Yeah, one way to look at it. I don't think that I wasn't thrilled with our defense today. That being said, I thought UMass did some things well, attacked some good spots. I also think they made some tough shots. Some of those pull-ups, some of those that I was like, hey, that was actually one of our good defensive possessions. They made some shots. So you got to tip your cap to them a little bit. Again, I knew those three guards were going to be tough to guard, and I don't know that we handled that the best that we could have. Some of that's them and them playing the way that they did. But I thought we had kind of found some things early in the season defensively. I thought we kind of corrected some things with the St. Joe's game. We did have some big stops today. I think when it kind of got down to, 5 and below, like we did get some big stops. We made a run there in that fourth quarter. But I think we gotta collect ourselves defensively and be better.
A little bit about your bench. Rachel got a career tying 26. I think you got 32 total. Big contributions from the bench.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with obviously Van Arsdale being out today. I think there was an opportunity for Allie and hopefully kind of get her going. I think she's a really good player, going to be a very good player for us. Just needs some game minutes, and I think her getting that today hopefully was helpful. I thought Torrin gave us some good minutes with a good matchup today. Obviously sometimes you want to go deeper, but situation maybe didn't present that there today. But again, Rachel coming off the bench, with all due respect to the others, she was huge, right? She was tremendous, really on both ends. Made some mistakes defensively like we all did, but I thought her length and we have six rebounds today. I thought each of those was huge, but just keeping everything honest with her on the arc, I thought was fantastic. Hopefully we can get Lauren back here in a little bit, a few weeks, and we'll see what's going on.
Grace Townsend had 5 turnovers, however, was a playmaker. 7 assists at some critical moments, I could say, during the game that kind of gave you guys momentum. Talk about those assists and what they meant for your basketball team.
Yeah, they defended it maybe differently than maybe what we thought. We thought maybe some of the switches would maybe be part of their defense, part of their attack. I thought she did a good job in the first half of getting to the lane, and I thought we did a good job of cutting and kind of putting them in some rotations. I just didn't think we handled it very well. I think some of that was Grace wishing she could have had maybe 3 or 4 of those passes back. I still think she set the table pretty well. I think especially maybe the last 15 minutes of the game when she came in there, was able to kind of get to the basket a little bit a few times in the fourth quarter. Maybe some things that we were looking for earlier in the game. But I think just some key moments from her. Some of that was her getting herself to the basket. Other stuff was, like you said, getting some ball screen stuff. I know she found Rachel, she found Maggie a couple times that led to open shots. And I thought that's big for us, and we need that.
Now, one big thing is physicality when it comes to playing basketball, getting to the free throw line, setting the tone. They were only 5 of 6 from the line. You guys shot 19 times and made 15. When you're physical in the middle and you can play a type of physical style basketball, how important is that? going down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's something we've been missing. I think this year just haven't gotten the free throw line the way that I think we have in years past. And some of that, you mentioned the physicality in the post. I think we're working on that. I think that's gotten better. Some of it, is just, these days with, 5-team fouls, it doesn't matter if it's at the basket or at the arc. So I thought we did a better job today of just building the foul count early in quarters, of just putting the ball on the floor. I think we had Torrin in the end of the third quarter, I thought was huge for us, right? Like, all of a sudden, because the foul count is what it is, a foul 75 feet from the basket gives us 2 points, put us in a 2-for-1 situation that we didn't handle the best, but gave us a 2-for-1 there at the end. So I think those sort of things, when you're aggressive early, and a great point by you, when you're aggressive early in the quarter, now some of those plays and some of those actions that happen later in the quarter weren't shooting fouls. It might have been a touch foul. It might have been whatever it was, get to the free throw line. And I think we've been a lot better with that here as of late.
And despite the team's record, as you said on film, this is a very good basketball team. That come March, if you see them, they're going to be that same scrappy team. You think it was a good wake-up call, especially with you having Rhode Island, a tough Davidson team coming up? You think this is a good chance to wake you guys up and really show you that, this A-10 is on top of the best conference?
Yeah, and again, I think I knew coming into the game, no matter how we weren't winning by 30 points. This wasn't going to be a 30, 40-point win. No matter what you think the records were going to be, no matter what you think we've done in home games, this was going to be a tough game. And so we knew that. I want to say that first. We knew that. Was it a wake-up call? Maybe in some ways just to drive home the fact that, 3-0 was great, but 3-0 could have been 0-3 with a few different possessions. 3-3 can turn in, 3-0 can turn into 3-3 real quick, especially in this league. The game has a way to humble you, and maybe we haven't been with this collective group at that spot anymore of being the hunted. So I think, kind of a driving home what Coach has been saying with regard to every game is going to be tough. If you get knocked off, this is a feather in the cap for everybody else. And credit to UMass. I think really well coached. He's got them playing really, really well. I mentioned it earlier. If we played this game a month ago, maybe it goes differently. But they're playing well right now, and they're gonna have their record's going to look a lot different here. I think 5-6 weeks down the road, and if you see them again, hopefully we can learn some lessons from today. But I think to your point, I think we can learn some lessons in the next 2 weeks from how this game went today too.
But these are good problems to have. 14-3.
Right, man. Like here we are in the huddle, and it's like looking down. It's like, oh, is Coach going to be mad? It's like, hey, guys, we are 4-0, right? Maybe this particular group hasn't been there before, but the last thing you can do, and we haven't earned the right to be upset with losses, winning is hard. Winning conference games is really, really hard. So I'm proud of our kids, right? That could have been one of those, hey, man, UMass just had it today. They wanted it, they had it, and you take the loss and you learn the lesson that way. For us to still be winning games, for us to still, I think we've played 4 really good defensive teams, and we're shooting 53% continuing in these games. Most of these quarters, we're shooting 55+%. That's hard to do. We're still able to do that. Do I think we can clean up some things defensively? Absolutely. But this is a tough league. It's January, February basketball is tough. And like you said, man, to be 4-0, that's a good problem to have, if you even want to call it a problem.
Just your thoughts on the game. They fought you tooth and nail and kept it close, but you were able to pull away in the end.
Yeah, I feel like towards the end, our defense, we locked down on defense and got stops, and then we had wide open layups, wide open shots, and we just made them, and they fell in, so helped us.
They closed the gap multiple times, but it seemed like when you guys needed a bucket, you got it. Maybe not the best game of the year, but you managed to keep a comfortable lead most of the game.
Yeah, I think as of right now, our team is very poised, and we have stretches where we kind of turn it over or whatever. We just know that we're going to get the ball back and score, and we get a stop, and then we turn it back around and keep scoring, bring up the lead.
26 points, you tied a career high. Tell me about your day.
I did play very well, but my teammates got me open, and then I just made my shots, and they fell. So, yeah.
You guys have won 5 in a row now, and you're 4-0 in the league for the first time since 2010, 2011. Just talk about that.
Yeah, I just feel like we're a very older team, and that comes with experience, and I feel like that's going to benefit us very well, and it has been proven to benefit us the past few games, so I feel like we're going to keep it going and keep winning. Games
like St. Joe's and Appalachian State, where you're forced to play all 40 minutes and play it at the end. How much does that help that you pull out games like that? Confidence-wise, it's got to do a lot.
Oh, for sure. Building confidence is everything. Playing basketball, you have to be confident with every move, every pass, everything, because you're on the floor for a reason. You got to prove yourself.
You know, you talk about your teammates, 32 points off the bench tonight. For as well as the starters did, how important is that, especially going down this stretch as you get into February and March?
Yeah, it's very important. I feel like once you come off the bench and you can get points off the bench, it's kind of hard to scout a team because you don't know who's going to score, who's going to have a big game, and I think that brings a big threat for another team to play us.
And the passes tonight, as we were talking about, you were able to get some good passes at three-point line. Now you were, what, 6 of 11 from three-point land, which is critical. It's huge. While the team shot 10 and made 10, you made 6 of those. How important are those three-point shots and the passes that were made to you tonight?
Yeah, the passes are very important. I mean, I was just open. They saw me, made it. But, yeah, we're shooting really well as a team, so I just think, like, getting into the hot hand is everything with us.
In the third quarter, when they took the lead there, what did you guys do defensively to take that lead back and ultimately put this thing away?
We just knew we had to lock down and play defense, and in our heads we knew we just had to play defense, finish it out, and just defensive stops to offensive possessions and just keep scoring.
Coming to this game, this is a 3-win Massachusetts team, but you know how good they are. What did Coach tell you before the game and during the timeouts about how you guys had to lock down, even though this team wasn't top of the A-10, but still a very dangerous team?
Yeah, he said never underestimate a team. I mean, every team in the A-10 is very good, so we have to just go out there and play like they're the best in the league and just get them and win, whatever we got to do to win.